Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? Mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast and on Instagram at Sporgy_podcast. Please follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. You can also email the show. The address is sporgy@ChristopherMedia.net. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It will not cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. If you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media uses HostGator to host all of the shows produced by the Christopher Media Network. When you click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net and sign up for HostGator, you're helping to support Sporgy. We know that choosing the perfect gift for a man is a difficult task, but not anymore. TheBroBasket.com is here to help. We all know men are hard to shop for, but what do guys actually like? Their favorite alcohol, that's what. It could be craft beer, wine, whiskey, scotch, or tequila. TheBroBasket.com will put it in a gift basket full of their favorite gear and goodies. You can customize your own Bro Basket or choose from a variety of different Bro Baskets, like the Ultimate Import Sampler, the Jack and Coke gift set, or the Junior Executive gift basket. Boozeless, but still cool, Bro Baskets are also available. TheBroBasket.com gives you many shipping options to choose from, including rush delivery and Saturdays. 21 and over, please. State and local laws apply. Beer, wine, and liquor are not available for shipping in all states. You can help to support Christopher Media by clicking through the BroBasket.com banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Men used to be hard to shop for. TheBroBasket.com.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Rich.
Oh, number 14. Who's that, Rich?
14. Brendan Shanahan.
Oh, there you go. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
And it's. I guess right away we'll talk about we're gonna move Sporgy to Thursdays with the football season coming up because we want to record on Tuesdays. And yeah, so just address that right out of the gate. Thanks everybody who's been listening. And well, I mean it's in the mail, right? I mean we got to suffer through one last the preseason game of all preseason games that don't matter. The fourth one.
Yeah, the one where Rod Marinelli infamously put Jeff Garcia in. No, left him in. Excuse me. For more than one series, and he broke his leg and was out for 6 weeks. I don't know if you remember this season, but that was supposed to be the season where it was the end of the Harrington experiment and the beginning of the Jeff Garcia era here in Detroit.
Jeff Garcia?
Garcia, yes.
I thought I blacked those years out.
It's kind of like his voice I always loved because it's like Brian Boitano talking about South Park goofing on him, and he's doing an interview and he's like, I don't know where they get that I talk with a lisp. I don't have a lisp. And I'm like, dude, you just lisped all the way through that statement, but okay.
Yeah. Your lisp had a lisp.
Yeah, I can imagine that there's going to be at least one, not major injury, but injury this week with the starters playing their very little bit that they play, that some coach is going to go, God damn it, why do we have 4 fucking preseason games?
Fucking Tony Romo that motherfucker. I mean, I drafted him against my goddamn better judgment, but I was like, I got Des Bryant, I'll have a tandem, this'll work out. And then this motherfucker, I knew he was going to fuck me. I just didn't know he was going to fuck me this early. But Tony Romo, breaking a vertebrae in his back, so...
Good news is it's not the one that he's broke or aggravated before. It's a new one.
Oh, yeah, good news. I've already heard the R word thrown around with him already.
Well, I think the only reason I haven't heard it more is because there is no surgery required. This is a back brace for 6 to 8 weeks from what I've heard. And, basically take it easy. But that doesn't change the fact this gentleman's back seems to be made out of glass at the age of 36.
Oh, dude, I was not happy, but I have a draft strategy and I stick to it, and I draft, I let everything falls where it does. And I've learned in fantasy football, your gut can be your fucking worst enemy. I kind of let the numbers do the thing for me, and I drafted him. I was like, God damn it, I have to draft Tony Romo, and that motherfucker. Des Bryant got a concussion? It's already half over for my fantasy football team. Not one down has been played yet. Goddamn Cowboys.
So does this mean that you're going to shit all over football because your fantasy football team is garbage now?
Oh, fuck no. I don't know. Hell no, it ain't garbage. I played all last year without Des Bryant pretty much, and still I went to the championship games.
Okay.
So Romo, he's already done. I picked up Mariota. He's ranked right above your boy, famous Jameis.
Which, I mean, dude, I watched the third preseason game with the Browns and Buccaneers, and it's the Browns. Having a good day against them is like, to quote the movie Waiting, being the smartest kid with Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. But still, they just curb stomped, prison sexed them, dude. Tampa Bay just was ruthless on fucking the Browns in that game. And if that's how Jameis Winston's going to play during the season, I'll forget him accidentally absconding with some crab meat, even though I still say the motherfucker stole the shit.
It was given to him by Booster.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Booster that knew he loved seafood.
Yeah, SpongeBob showed up and said, "Here, have some Krabby Cakes." And yeah, my ass. Anyways, getting back to the America's team. I guess the story with Romo. Yeah, okay, he's made of glass. Okay, we've got that out the way. What about Dak Prescott, man? You got this rookie who's playing really well. In fact, the best a rookie quarterback has played for the Cowboys since Tony Romo.
Well, we'll see. I got Elliott too, man. Fuck. A good portion of my fantasy football team right now is lying in the hands of the Cowboys and the Dolphins. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Elliott, look at it this way. He's going to get a lot more fucking carries than he probably was if Romo was healthy.
Yeah, and he did his one and only preseason appearance. He lit it up. So, hoping. Fingers crossed. He was ranked 6th. He hasn't played a down of professional ball, and he was ranked 6th overall as far as the four-letter network in their fantasy football drafts.
I don't know about he hasn't played professional ball. He played for Ohio State. If we're defining professional football as being paid to play, he's played professional football. So, come on now. Let's be honest here. That's like, before the Rams...
Sorry.
It's like before the Rams went back to L.A., people would say, L.A. doesn't have a professional team, and I go, what about USC?
Yeah, I know, right?
That team was more professional than Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and when Pete Carroll was there, it's probably more professional than the Detroit Lions were.
Well,
man, no one ever talks about how as soon as he got caught, he just fucking bolted. Like, everyone just, forgets about, you win a Super Bowl and nobody cares?
Yeah, winning.
And he hung all those players out to dry. Pete Carroll gave no fucks when he left USC.
Well, neither did fucking Captain Sweater Vest when he left fucking Ohio State.
Oh, hell no. Well, Maurice Claret did it to himself.
And Uncle Urban down there in Florida was as complicit in fucking what was going on as the players, because not the players, excuse me, but as the university, because he kept turning a blind eye towards it. So he retires for health reasons, and it comes back to one of the most high profile jobs in college football. I'm gonna go coach the Buckeyes.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. 2 years later, feeling better. Let's coach some college football.
Yeah, everybody forgot about that shit with my former team. All right, great, wonderful. Christ Tebow, pretty much erase that from your memory. Wonderful, great.
Yeah.
But that's what happens, and that's a different topic. But that's what happens in college sports when you do not pay the players. I mean, completely different subject, but you can't make millions upon millions upon millions on these guys' backs. Basically,
And not cut them in.
Basically, college football is pro football's minor leagues. And even though you play for the Toledo Mud Hens, you're not making buku bucks unless you're, a big leaguer down there for a rehab assignment or something. You're still making money. And the NCAA insists that these guys make nothing. Oh, well, they get a scholarship and, they get the right to eat so many times at the cafeteria.
I was going to say, do you think the colleges and the NCAA throw in their face? Like, yeah, you get paid. You didn't paid for none of your books or your schooling. There's somewhat of validity to that argument.
Yes, there is. But, I mean, also we know that if you're...
We've bought you hookers for the last 3 years.
Those are called co-eds. They're not called hookers. No. Dude, come on now. I mean, if you're an average player and you want to go to a football factory, your chances of actually being paid to go to a football factory are slim to none. So your average players are going to go. Yeah, they're going to look at the colleges and go, yeah, maybe I'll go to instead of going to an SEC school and riding the bench and maybe getting 1 year of actual play time, I'll go to a more of an academic college and play for 4 years, but actually leave with a degree that's worth a shit more than just, the paper it's printed on.
I think that's what happened with Stanford, and then Stanford all of a sudden accidentally got good at football.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you had a lot of that going on, and then all of a sudden, hey, we got a football program.
Well, dude, one of the big ironies of Miami Hurricanes is that they originally wanted to turn them into the Stanford of the South because University of Miami was known as an academic university until the late 70s. And
what? The U?
Yeah. Ha. You didn't know that?
Down no, Coral man.
Gables? Coral Gables is as white as can be, dude.
It makes me laugh hearing that.
Yeah, I forget the coach that started it all up, but yeah, he come down there and I think it was 79 was his first year, and he wanted to basically bring the football program up, but they wanted it to be, their motto was the Stanford in the South. So then of course you had the entire 1980s, most of the 90s and early 2000s happen. So
that's the U I know.
Yeah, oh definitely.
Cocaine. Corruption.
Yeah, when they play Notre Dame, the headlines would read Catholics versus convicts.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to
speaking of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, it's pretty much he's set up to, as long as he can handle the wear and tear of the season, he's set up to be the one to carry that team for the first at least third of the season.
Well, hey man, he better keep his shit together. He's my feature back. He was my first round pick. I took a gamble this year, son. But he was rated the 6th overall by the Four Letter Network. So we'll see.
Well, it's gonna be an interesting year for Dallas fans. I can already hear asses leaving the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. So
Des Bryant already getting. I mean, he'll be fine by week 1, but I mean, concussion. Like, bro, you are out all last season. You were broke down all last season. Like, is 2015 going to be like his dividing line year where it just started all going to shit after that?
It very well might be. I mean, football, there's such usually a rapid decline. You could almost pinpoint if not the season, but the game, and sometimes you can even pinpoint the play. I mean, I'm not talking about like a definitive injury play, like a Joe Theismann injury or some shit like that. I'm talking about like a play where the guy he's just never the same after it. Either he gets gun shy because now he's not playing with the wild abandon that he had up before because he realizes now that his body will betray him at some point, or they just get so badly injured they just never come back from it.
Or you go to jail for 2 years for dogfighting.
Well, that doesn't help.
That, man, for him, that was the worst timing ever. Like, Joe Theismann might disagree. But, I mean, he was, like, poised. He would, like, the year that he fucking lost, that he went to jail, he was poised to be, like, I mean, he'd already had a couple breakout years, but he was a fucking force to be reckoned with. And then 2 years in the slammer, the joint, white guy terms for prison, and that's it. It's sad. I mean, he came back and he did all right for the Eagles, for a half a season, but he just never was in the same. That was a big bummer with Vick.
Yeah, and he didn't go to the longest yard prison where he could hone his football skills. He went to sit on your ass federal prison and,
convert to Islam and lift weights prison.
Yeah, maybe get an. Well, I mean, I can't remember the details of what level prison he went to, but federal prison is a lot different than. Excuse me.
Keep in mind,
but lower level prison's a lot different than. I mean, he might have had rec time and a lot more freedom, but he still isn't having professional training and shit like that. So I mean,
but keep in mind, he's still rich. He didn't go to pound me in the ass prison.
Oh no, I'm just talking about being able to keep up physically with guys that are still in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you can work out all you want in prison, but I mean, there's a reason it's called, getting swole in prison, because you're trying to be like a peacock. You're trying to keep everybody at bay. Just because you're big doesn't mean that your football skills are being honed still.
Yeah, but those were probably 2 years where his name are in the fucking history books for the wrong reasons, and it probably could have went the other way had he not gone to prison the way he was playing.
Well, just out of curiosity, and this is this could cause some actual hate mail. The question I'm about to pose.
Sporgy podcast at ChristopherMedia.net.
Or just go to Twitter.
At Sporgy Podcast. At Sporgy_podcast on Instagram.
And cuss us out there. Because I find people have very visceral reactions to this question. You really think he deserved 2 years for all the dogfighting?
No, quite honestly. You want to look at the rap sheet of the NFL? Fuck no. I mean, people love animals. I love animals. You love animals. We send cat videos to each other all day long on the internet. All right? But if Greg Hardy is my argument. Greg Hardy, Ray Caruth, Ray Lewis. I mean, Ray Rice. Poor Ray. It sounds bad that I'm saying poor Ray Rice, but he should not be blackballed like he is either. I think Vick was made an example of at the time. I think it was Mr. The Fuhrer Goodell making an example out of a black guy getting caught for doing some black guy shit, if you want to talk real. And I think Vick kind of got railroaded.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say because, as you did point out, I am an animal lover, but you're going to take away a guy's life for 2 years. It's not like he just got suspended from the NFL for 2 years.
He got suspended from life for 2 years.
Yeah, and as much as I love animals, there's people that commit manslaughter that don't do 2 years.
Greg Hardy's still playing football.
There's people that obstruct justice in a murder case and didn't even sniff prison, a.k.a. Ray Lewis.
And I run Monday Night Football?
So, I don't know. If you're one of those people that are like, I'd rather a million humans die than one animal, you're going to hate us for what we just said. I understand having that way, feeling that way. But, I mean, I also understand, murder doesn't mean I condone it. So, and I mean, to keep the football thing up, the story that everybody has an opinion about, whether they're a football fan or not, which is one of the most annoying things about this entire story, is the Colin Kaepernick issue. And I mean, if you've been living under a mushroom and you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, I guess we'll enlighten you. But if you somehow listen to this podcast and don't listen to sports, that'd be about the only way I guess you would know.
Yeah.
Homie has decided he's going to protest police brutality and mistreatment of people in the justice system, in his eyes, by not standing for the national anthem.
He's gonna maximize his time on the bench this year. He's gonna make it count for something.
Yeah, well, for more than just the national anthem. He's going to be on the bench for. Okay, I heard it put this way by someone earlier today. Are we really having this much of a shit fit about a second string quarterback? When all the other shit is going on in this country? Is this not a more perfect election year distraction issue?
Yeah, this is to me this is a non-story, because first of all, it's like, what's your end game here, buddy? Because all you're doing is you're still collecting a paycheck, you're still going to play football. I mean, as far as advancing the cause, what are you really doing? Because if it's to get a conversation about race going, we're good. It's been that's been started for about the last, 100 plus years. So just in if you want to really make your point, don't play football. Like I was talking with the lady upstairs before we came down here. You impress me, be like Muhammad Ali. That motherfucker went to jail for 2 years, not like Michael Vick. That was making a point. What do you I'm not going to play football. Well, you're not going to play anyways because you've been benched since halfway through last season. But I mean, really, is it? I understand his point, but I guess I question the method.
And I got you, and I understand where you're coming from on that. But I also heard a local sports talk personality bring up a pretty good point on this, as far as I'm concerned. He goes, "This is hashtag activism.
Yeah,
this is I'm starting a conversation. My actions have started a conversation. I've done something.
You know what this is, dude? This is thoughts and prayers.
Pretty much.
This is I'm saying a prayer. It's I'm doing something without really doing anything at all.
And that's been, to be fair, that's been leveled at him from people who oppose him. And the typical bullshit, soundbite, mini microwave garbage of posting a meme of a picture of like his house and being like, look at his house. This is him being oppressed. Okay, well, if that's what you took from that argument, then you're either being willfully obtuse or your IQ is like room temperature. Okay, he's not saying it's all him. He's trying to make a point. To me, make your point, and now what? That's your opening salvo. That's the first shot fired in the war. Now what? Now you can't just back down from it. You got to back it up with some action. I mean, give as like we talked about on another podcast on the network.
Regimented Saturdays on iTunes, ChristopherMedia.net.
See, you're so good at shilling it, I can't even get it in there. And I've actually come to understand I have to, if not suck, at least fondle Satan's cock at these times. Anyways,
just cradle the balls,
just a little bit, like. You don't make eye contact, But yeah, I mean, like, where's the backup action? Like we talked about it on Regimented, I used to tell people, I'm going to, first of all, 2 years ago, a lot of people didn't know what a podcast was, so I'd say I'm doing my internet radio show. And it felt like a dorky thing to say. And then I kind of realized that all these people walk around with all these strong opinions and they don't do anything with them. And so I have, granted, a very small outlet for my voice compared to some people, but I still use it to express something that things that I believe in. What's he doing besides sitting during the national anthem? Okay, now you got to back it up. I don't hear him doing interviews explaining his point of view. I mean, he might give interviews to the beat writers. He might expand upon his thought process with them. But I mean, go out and do something.
It's how I feel about our presidential candidates, or even before when it was, when it was 9,000 of them, before there was down to 2. Nice platitudes. Now what? I mean, that's how it, great talk. No, what's the old Chris Rock thing? Well, what you gonna do? That's how I feel.
Well, and also,
are you gonna get out in the neighborhoods, Colin Kaepernick? Are you gonna start some actual protests? Are you gonna get involved with? You gonna use your advantages as a professional athlete to reach out to some organizations and maybe try to initiate some change yourself, or are you just going to maximize your time on the bench this year and try to make it mean something?
Yes to all that, but it's also bringing up, which it does with the internet anymore. It does anytime something like this happens. And let's be honest, this isn't like a radical thing. He's not the first athlete to do it. He's not the first athlete to protest during the national anthem. Even if they did stand, that as far as I know and can remember, that'd be the guys from the '68 Olympics.
But I mean, if he's looking to start a dialogue on race, are we really running short on those right now?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because he does this, and what it turns into is flame wars back and forth on the internet, and that's where this battle is fought, for better or for worse. The news is just they're running with it because, hey, it incites people to anger or to yell at other people, so it's going to be in the news cycle, and within a couple days it's going to be gone unless he ups the ante by doing something even grander for the next fucking preseason game.
We are a predictable ass country at the moment right now.
But I mean, all the typical fucking shit come out. All all the right-wing people started posting, pictures of Pat Tillman saying, oh, this is a real fucking hero and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you ever watch the documentary on the Pat Tillman family? The U.S. government lied their ass off and tried to fucking sell that shit to the Tillman family. And the Tillman family was like, wrong fucking family. I mean, his brother got up there in a T-shirt and jeans at his funeral and was like, yeah, hey, thanks for coming out, but Pat's not in heaven. He didn't believe in that bullshit. He's just fucking dead.
Yeah, I heard that.
So even the people on the right, they're typical tone deaf bullshit, and because they just want to prop someone up as this is a hero, and then of course you got he was raised by white people, so how was he oppressed? He was raised upper middle class. How was he oppressed? Let's just be honest here, okay? Did he say he was oppressed, or did he say he's had some incidences in his life where he was fucked with? I didn't hear him say he was oppressed. I heard other people say he said he was oppressed. And if he was, let's just be honest, raised in an upper middle class white neighborhood and he's an adopted black child, yeah, I'm pretty sure that he was fucked with a little bit by the cops. So, hey, what the fuck's this kid doing in this neighborhood? So they figured out he lived there at least.
See, I'm just more in the camp of not even of his upbringing. It's more of, hey man, since 12 years old, since someone realized you could throw a football, you've had your ass kissed. That's where I'm coming from.
That's fine, but at 1:30 in the morning in a car full of fucking high schoolers, you get pulled over, you're the one black kid, until the cops figure out that you're the black kid that can throw the fucking football for the local high school football team, you're going to get fucking leaned on a little bit more heavy. Come on, dude. Let's be honest.
Give you that one.
Now, once they figure out who he is, they're going to be like, hey. Kill Central next week. Bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, pour them beers out. We never saw that go home. That type of shit. But it's just, it's so tiresome. It's so tiresome because it's the same arguments with just different interchangeable people they're arguing about. He stands up, he refuses to stand up during the national anthem and protest to something. And people on the right come out and they attack everything but what he was doing. And people on the left come out, and automatically everyone on the right is a racist. And
he's a hero.
And it's like, he's a fucking individual who decided to take for lack of a better term, a stand for something he believed in, okay? He doesn't represent the NFL. He doesn't represent all quarterbacks. He doesn't represent all black people. He represents his fucking self. And this is kind of what goes back to something we talked about in Unregimented. I don't understand this desire and this almost pathological need for people of like maybe 30 and under to all be lumped in groups and like want that label and want to be, okay, you're in this group over here. You're in this group over here. It's like, what happened to just individualism? He made an individual statement.
That's the beginning of political correctness starting to eat itself. IMO, as the kids would say. It's the monster starting to eat its tail.
I mean, the one thing I will say I'm glad I'm hearing, and this is just me, this is because I believe in like absolute free speech. I don't care what the fuck you're saying. But I don't believe that all speech should come with no consequences. We have legal consequences. If you yell fire in a crowded theater, you will face legal repercussions. Mm-hmm. And we have societal consequences. We have the consequences society will impose upon you.
Yeah, ask Michael Richards.
If you stand up and exactly on a stage and start yelling nigger at a bunch of black people and go, well, and try to hide under the guise of it was comedy, and people go, you know what? Louis C.K. uses that word. Doug Stanhope uses that word. Joe Rogan uses that word. Bill Hicks used that word. George Carlin did too. But they used it in a way that was actually pointing out the ridiculousness of something, satire, or to further a joke that was trying to get people to think. This guy was just standing up there screaming at people. Nah, that's not comedy in our opinion. Have a nice fucking career.
Yeah.
I hope you save some of that Seinfeld money because you ain't going to make no more off of us.
Well, it'll be in syndication till the end of time. He'll be all right. I ain't worried about him.
Definitely.
But yeah, the society, pretty much, that was, and you're done.
Well, I mean, that is a consequence of free speech. You are not guaranteed to not be fucked with just because you have freedom of speech. It's just like you are not guaranteed, and this is kind of what I noticed, and this is, God damn it, you're rubbing off on me on this one. I guess I could say it's millennials, but I'm not really sure if it's them or if it's just in today's society, this is how we look at things. Everyone wants to be looked at in a certain light that they say, look at me, but they don't want any of the consequences of it. All right. When we were coming up, we all had that friend who by the time he was 18 was pierced and tatted up a ridiculous amount. And by the time he's 25, he's bitching about he can't find a job.
Yeah.
Okay. It's your right to walk around pierced and tatted the fuck up. But it's also employers' rights to go, dude, sorry, but, I really don't want someone representing my company who's got, fuck her till she loves me tattooed on his fucking neck and a couple teardrops on his face. And
yeah, I mean, I see that shit all the time. It's all people tatted up, but bitching, I can't find a job. Well, if you looked in the mirror, there's going to be ramifications that come with that. You're gonna have jobs with name tags, in warehouses. That's what you're gonna be working. That's what you've pretty much relegated yourself to with the choice you made.
And it seems like a lot of younger people, and I'm in sports, I can't even imagine. I mean, we talk about it, and the word entitlement gets thrown around. The word entitlement is the rights version of the word racism, or accusing someone of racism or sexism. That's what the left does. The right just throws out the word entitlement. It's a catch-all fucking statement for them. And it's an overused word, but it is, you're not entitled to have you can't walk around looking like an extra out of fucking Sons of Anarchy and walk into a Fortune 500 company and go, well, because normal is a social construct, you have to accept me as me and put me. No, it don't work that way. And you can't, he stands, he takes a stand, and let's be honest, has he lost any? Well, first of all, what endorsements did he have? Colin Kaepernick. Didn't he have Beats headphones there for a second before he got benched? I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Those commercials. That, and I think he, it seems like everybody's sponsored by Under Armour, but I think he had a few Under Armour commercials, if I remember correctly. And yeah, dude, he's a fucking heavily tatted guy, but he's in an industry where that's looked. It's not even. I don't even think that's an issue as long as you produce.
Well, he knew he wasn't gonna have a real job from a young age.
Exactly, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe it's gone to his head, but I don't think so. I don't think he's like, okay, well, I'm still gonna get everything I was gonna get by taking a stand. I think he understands that he's gonna piss off a certain segment of society, and if he does, more power to him. If he doesn't, he's in for a rude awakening. Now, the other hand, the way cynical take on this that I've heard is that his fucking stock is dropping in San Francisco, and he knows he can either end up cut or looking to be moved, which most likely cut.
Well, the other part he's got to think about is you're already second string. Does the owner really want to be associated with somebody like you? And if you get cut, there's 31 other owners that might be going, do you really want to take on this guy who seems, hell-bent on getting some press that we may not want to deal with?
See, and all I can say is that you look at it that way. I look at it as an owner of a middling to bottom-tier fucking team will be like, well, if we bring him in, it'll at least bring some attention to our fucking team. We won't be a 30-second soundbite, or we won't get 30 seconds of coverage on the last fucking... we won't get our highlights in 30 seconds, little bites as the last thing on SportsCenter on Sunday night.
It's true. Buffalo
we might
Bills
get a little bit more profile.
Get a little more ink.
And that's like I said, that's the way cynical side I've heard people talk about it. But let's be honest, it's a business. Sports is not played for honor and glory, and that's it. It's played for fucking money. And he's got a whole team behind him going, hey man, look, our livelihood depends on how much you get paid and how much we can keep you in the spotlight. So yeah, go ahead, take this stand, because bad press is better than no press. I mean, that's at least a thought.
And Chip Kelly's just glad no one's talking about his coaching.
Mr. I can't identify with black players.
It's keeping the San Francisco media from talking about the shit show that was his year in Philly. Or did he do two?
I can't even remember. I can't believe he came out and said he can't identify with black players. Like, what the fuck? You're a head coach. And
I'm just start coaching football? They're not all white in college either, buddy.
I'm going to say predominantly. I mean, it's not the NBA, but it damn sure ain't hockey. All right, even if it's let's just for shits and giggles, 50% white, 50% other. Okay, let's just put it that way, just for shits and giggles. So you're saying you can only relate to 50% of the players in the league, and you're a head coach? That's not something you say to fucking ESPN when someone sticks a mic in your face,
or anyone for this matter.
That's something you say to your fucking therapist, and they give you ways to work on it.
Yeah,
right? Or that's something you don't tell your wife, because divorce. If I've learned anything, everything you tell someone in a relationship that you're married to becomes ammo at a certain point during divorce. So
noted.
Yeah, don't. You can share everything. No, you can't. Just
don't tell her where those bodies are buried.
Just remember, you pay your therapist so they don't talk, and you pay them up front.
Yes, sir.
You pay your wife on the back end. Just ask Johnny Depp about that one.
Ooh.
He got off light. $7 million out of $450 million net worth. He got off light.
And that video came out, and man, I don't know if I don't. I used to not believe her, but after that video come out, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we really want to get into that story, we can, but I feel that should probably be saved for another podcast.
Gotcha.
Because I got a lot of thoughts on that. Because I was like, oh yeah, she's a shit actress in real life and in her movies, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, can't fake being drunk and having an anger problem.
Oh no, not him, her.
Oh no, that's and I know, I agree.
Dude, I guarantee you it was a bunch of fucking arguing, and then she turned the phone on, propped it up. What's wrong? You were fine 2 seconds ago.
Hey,
blah, 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 blah.
Hey, I agree there, but at the same time, it's like he's a 50-plus-year-old man. At some point, man, you got to learn to put a cap on that shit.
No, you do. But it's just like, it's to bring it back to sports, the rookie symposium for the NFL, the NBA, MLB, they all tell them, look, there are the real gangsters wear suits. The real people who are going to rob you are going to be the chick at the club that you just think, oh my God, look at her. All right. These are the people you watch out for. These are the people that are going to come after you. And they're going to come after you with smiles and pussy and promises of riches and all this. All these things that you've always wanted. And if you watch any documentary about most sports, or watch most documentaries about any sports guy, and you'll see that his downfall is either his ego by thinking he can get any business up and going, or a piece of ass. One of those two things, or both, end up costing these guys millions of dollars.
Yeah, the poor bastard where both gets them.
The Bernie Kosar effect. What his dad didn't take, his ex-wife did. That type of thing. But
those are the guys that usually flat broke in the span of half a decade.
Yeah.
Did you just get signed for $30 million 3 years ago? Yeah, but see, the thing is,
what had happened was,
yeah.
But yeah, so we've discussed it ad nauseum now, and we pretty much both agree it's really a non-issue. I think it's more of your typical election year distraction issue. And
I think too, it's like, hey, let me grab some headlines before I get cut. Nobody signs me.
Well, that's the cynical side. I mean, I
remember me 2 years ago I was in the Super Bowl? Or no, 3 years ago?
Yeah, the one where the lights got cut out?
Yeah.
Someone didn't pay the light bill?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, he's hey, whatever. He took his stand, and everybody's either patting him on the back or enraged. And this is, once again, it's either an extreme one way or extreme on the other. There's no one that goes, well, no, that's what I was going to say. I'm very shocked at how many people have come out and said, you know what, he's got every right to do it. Personally, I think he's an asshole, and I don't really agree with him, but he's got every right to do it. So, hey, even veterans have come out and been like, you people who didn't fight, stop saying that we fought so he couldn't do that. No, we fought so he could do that. Doesn't mean I'm not going to call him an asshole.
I found it ironic that my girlfriend, who makes Bernie Sanders look like a fascist, said, so it's national anthem, right? I was like, yeah. She's like, what does the NFL stand for? It's like, National Football League. She's like, so why is he playing? It's like, good point, lady friend.
Well, yeah, I have heard that also. Yeah, you really want to protest? Well, you said it. You want to protest? Fucking don't play. Pull Boondocks, like that one Boondocks episode where the NBA and the NFL players have refused to play until justice is blah 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 and all this shit. I mean, that'll never happen because, especially in the NFL, where your paycheck is dependent upon you playing.
Exactly. Now, if you got week 1, can't go off because half of the rosters on all the teams are refusing to suit up, that'll make a fucking point. But guess what? That ain't fucking happening because these motherfuckers got mortgages and kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And sadly, this is where the young and idealistic get chewed up when they go into the real world. People have this bad habit of doing things called living indoors and eating. And
yeah, dude, I love living indoors. Climate control, that's some badass shit.
And as long as they have those habits, they're not necessarily going to be willing to throw away, the means to keep a roof over their head, keep food in their stomach, keep the air at a certain, temperature, just because you want to make a point. So,
well, and two, what I've learned, I'm coming from the spot of not being in this spot, but I've learned once you have a mouth to feed, it's game over. It's game over. It's all you care about is feeding that mouth. Like,
in a perfect world, yeah.
I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it with my family. Like, as soon as you've made another person, like, that's it. Like, people don't give a shit. What principles? I got a mouth to feed. Or mouths,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for something where if it dies, I go to jail. This isn't a fucking parrot.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to say more often than not, most people get that. I mean, I bet you do have some parents who just do not understand that. And,
yeah.
That's why the kid ends up calling mom and dad by their first name and grandma and grandpa mom and dad, that type of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the NFL. Oh, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I got to suit up. Well, yeah, that's great. Take a stand. Great.
That's why I heard a little...
Mortgage comes due on the 28th.
I heard someone bring up on Sports Talk Radio a point that I hadn't even thought of. They were like, everybody's making such a big deal about this with Kaepernick, but what took more balls, what he did or what those 4 WNBA players did by wearing the shirts of the names of the people that were killed and then having the Dallas police, badge along with the names of the people that were killed on those shirts, because the WNBA is not the NFL. If for whatever reason the team owners decided or the WNBA decided to take harsh action against those players, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for them to make the money they're making in the WNBA other places unless they have college degrees.
Well, here's my cynicism, and it's right along with yours. They loved it because they were in the news. You ever seen a slow sports day on ESPN when they're actually showing WNBA games? It's reminiscent of college crowds.
But what I'm saying is, what are any 4 of their names?
Exactly.
They had a lot more to lose because, one, if it was a roll of the dice to try to get attention and try to make themselves a brand name, it didn't work, and they had to know that on some level. And I mean, they are also taking a chance of, we piss off people, and that's the end of it right there.
Like, all I can remember is the WNBA team in Minnesota. Like, that's about it.
Exactly.
I can't even tell you the team's name.
Yep. So yeah, there you go. Now, kind of going from one player's not really speaking his mind, but taking once again, for lack of a better term, stand, to a player actually speaking his mind and not saying all the usual shit. Did you get the article I sent you about Taylor Hall, the hockey player that got traded from Edmonton to New Jersey?
Stand by. Let me open up the face page. Taylor Hall says the honest thing, not the right thing, about trade of the Devils. Did he go the straight of some bullshit?
No, basically what he did is he was drafted at a young age by Edmonton, started playing. And I think he's like 24 and he's got 6 years NHL experience under his belt. So that tells you, he was pretty much thrown into the lake and told sink or swim. Edmonton traded for Larson from New Jersey. And I guess part of the trade was they felt that, yes, they have a lot of young talent in Edmonton, but they need a little bit more maturity in the locker room. And, everybody stuck the camera in his face and he didn't say, well, I'm just, I'm happy to be here in New Jersey, and this is hope I can bring something to the team and blah blah blah. He was like, no, this is like a breakup. This is the only professional team I've known. This is where all my buddies are, and I kind of feel like I've been betrayed.
Wow.
I mean, he come out and he said everything that we supposedly want athletes to say. Now, I understand that this is in the hockey world, and on top of it, this is a trade from a Canadian team to a U.S. team. It's not like it's not like Patrick Kane got traded from Chicago to, Tampa, two high profile US teams. But it's not necessarily the trade itself. It's the fact that we have an athlete who's speaking his mind. He's not being an asshole about it, though. He's not being a dick. And we claim that's what we want in sports, especially reporters. Reporters say all the time, oh, this person's not going to give you shit. And that's one of the reasons that Torrey Hunter, when he came here to Detroit, all the beat writers loved him because he would talk to the to the reporters like they were human beings. He didn't just stand there and give pat answers. He didn't pull a Belichick and just say, next question. We don't talk about that here. Next question.
There's something to be said for Belichick style, but no, here I'm reading about this guy. Yeah, no, that's he's getting kudos for just saying what he's on his mind, but he's not coming off as a loose cannon, just like a veteran who no longer feels the need to spew the canned little tidy quotes.
Yeah,
according to this
exactly.
article on, was it hockeynews.com?
Yeah, he's like, look, I put in 6 years. I feel I've earned the right, even though, yes, I am 24, I still have put in 6 years in the NHL. I feel I've earned the right to be honest. And I think it's refreshing because I think we get way too much bullshit in sports. And one of the things that, I've heard over the years is that beat reporters are usually hated by the teams they cover because there has to be a story every day. And they say as a consequence of that, a lot of these athletes won't speak frankly to these reporters. But then it's like, okay, well, when you get an athlete who does speak frankly, like this, I mean, let's be honest, 24, it's pretty much, he's a kid. Even in sports years, he's still a kid. Like this kid did.
Yeah.
Once again, granted, I get it. It's hockey. It's a Canadian. He came from a Canadian team. It's not earth-shattering here in the U.S., but isn't this what we want our athletes to do? I mean, now if he'd have thrown a shit fit and been like, fuck Edmonton, I'm going to go to Jersey, can't wait to play him. I'm going to shove that fucking puck straight up their fucking ass, blah, blah, blah.
Pulled Eli Manning. I don't want to play in San Diego.
Yeah, well, which is the other, I guess, big story we got to cover about San Diego here in a minute, which kind of fits in with this one. He went about it the right way, but once again, what happened? There was just a collective meh. It took the hockey news, which, I mean, if you're a hockey fan, it's like the Bible for the game. I mean, they cover every level of hockey, but
Rich did not get paid to say that.
No, there's no. No, the hockey news is one of the few. When I was a kid, I had a Sports Illustrated subscription. When I became an adult and my family stopped getting me that for my birthday and Christmas, I got a hockey news subscription I paid for.
Yeah.
So I've actually given money to that. They don't pay me to say this shit. But yeah, just to me, look, he does it the right way. He says what's on his mind. He's not an asshole about it. And part of the problem is, I think, in especially sports reporting, and even more so in what we're doing, being talking heads about the sport, it doesn't get any coverage because it's not bleeding and it's not sexy. So it's a non-story in the eyes of the media. I mean, Charles Barkley has been retired for how long now? Like, it's got to be going on 15 years, isn't it?
Fuck, maybe 20. Let's see. Let's type in Charles Barkley in the old Google machine. CharlesBarkley.com. That's for another day. Basketball starts in what, November? Come on, Wikipedia, as Bill Burr says. 2000.
16 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And he stubs his toe, and there'll be 5 fucking microphones stuck in his face, 5 cameras along with those microphones, trying to, waiting for hanging on his every word because they know he's going to say something fucking outlandish. And then people who hate him are going to go, oh, and get, offended. And the people that love him are going to just, do what they do. Like, well, that's what Charles Barkley does. What do you expect?
It's just his thing. It's his shtick.
I mean,
it's the expectation he has set.
Don't get me wrong. I love listening to Charles Barkley riff. I think that new show on HBO, what is it? Any Given Wednesday with whoever the fuck his name is.
Bill Simmons.
Yes, exiled from ESPN Simmons. Yeah, I think it was his first episode. He had Barkley on, and Barkley just went off. Maybe it was his second episode. But anyways, I loved it. But once again, I think just pointing out the hypocrisy and I mean, even what we're doing, let's be honest, we just spent probably more time on Colin Kaepernick than we should have. And why? That's because that's what everyone's talking about. But then people will say, I'm so sick of this shit. Well, if you're sick of it, the media is only, the news media is only going to put out there what they know people are going to want to watch and listen to.
What do they say on 4chan? GTFO. If you're sick of it.
Usually preceded by tits or get the
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Aaron has brought that up.
But now if you really want to, let me nerd out for a sec. So the NHL 17 video game beta came and went, and I played it. And remember we had the conversation, would I be buying Madden or would I be buying NHL 17?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't bought Madden. Madden's out. I did like NHL 17, but I got to say this. Playing online when I play Madden, I find more shit talking, but it's like when I play with people online, but it's not as personal and it's not as vicious as the shit talking that goes on playing NHL online.
Really? You're saying the hockey people are talking way more shit?
Oh, dude, there's a game mode where every player on the ice is controlled by an individual player at home.
Oh shit!
And so you get a bunch of fucking armchair Scotty Bowmans who think they're fucking like I don't even like they think they're Wayne Gretzky and they're like, learn to pick up a fucking pass, faggot. That's why your mother should have swallowed. I mean, all this.
Do they all have Canadian accents?
Yeah, the best is when I get cussed out in French by a Canadian. I've had that. But yeah, more often than not, you can hear the Canadian accent there. But yeah, I thought it was funny because I'm playing and I'm like, God, when I played pickup hockey, there was pretty much a rule. If you're going to get out there and talk that much shit, you pretty much had to back it up. And you'd figure Madden would. I mean, Madden is it's got its shit talking, but it isn't like send you a private message cussing you out, calling you everything but a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never got one of those, no matter how bad I've whooped someone in Madden. But yeah, I've gotten that pretty much every year I've played NHL online now. So hockey fans out there, y'all got to chill. Seriously. There's not a lot of us as is. And if you get new people coming in trying to get in through hockey and they're like, hey, let me hop online. And they hop on and it sounds like a mixture between 4chan and a clan rally, people aren't going to want to stay. So,
a 4clan rally?
Yeah, 4clan rally. Yeah, /KKK/. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my very, very quick review is, yes, NHL 17, I had fun with it. It's got its flaws. Online, still the clusterfuck that it's always going to be if you got a headset. So if you don't want to hear it, learn to use the mute button. So are we going to cover this Joey Bosa shit?
Who's Joey Bosa? What's a Joey Bosa?
Really? Oh, boy. Are you serious?
Oh, isn't it that Charger guy?
Yes.
Isn't he holding out and being like a dick about it?
I mean, if that's the way you want to look at it.
Or like someone's being a dick about something?
Basically, the NFL, since the new CBA, has you come in, and if you're picked within a certain range of picks, this is the money you get. So it takes a lot of the bullshit out of it. From what I've gathered, and hold on a sec, I want to make sure I got my facts correct here. They were trying to get him to, I guess, take the money, but not take it as the contract stipulates you're supposed to take it. I guess just like more on the back end. And the NFLPA was like, whoa. Can't do this. Because if you do this, it's going to set a precedent and it's going to kick our ass when we go to the negotiating table. And so he was a holdout. But the thing was, it wasn't for money because he was going to get the same amount of money either way. It was more about how he was getting his money, which it to me speaks to this is all the negotiations, the almost lockout we had with football a few seasons back. And here we go. You got
when we lost a preseason game.
I know. You got millionaires and a few billionaires basically still trying to nickel and dime their fucking players.
Quibbling about trading their money back and forth?
Yes. And if you remember when we talked about it a few episodes ago, we were talking about James Harrison and who I love. Don't get me wrong. I never want to meet James Harrison pissed off coming at me the other way. But as far as his attitude towards Roger Goodell in the NFL, I love it because he's like, fuck it. I've never tested dirty. Why do I got to spend my money to fly out to meet Roger Goodell and sit in his office when he wants to talk to me about an issue that has nothing to do with me besides a discredited news source throwing my name out with 5, 6 other names? You want to talk to me about it? Come talk to me about it. You want to test me? Test me. But don't waste my time and money when I'm trying to get ready for the fucking season. And then, of course, he called him a crook also, which, I just got to love that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it just makes me go back to when we talked about it. I was like, okay, you're going to notice when the collective bargaining agreement's up and they have to go back to the table that they're going to, I feel that personally, this is what the owners are doing. They're just they're tightening the clamp on the players right now. So when they go to the table and they go, okay, how about this? We'll give you a little bit more power when it comes to actually, Goodell and suspensions and et cetera, but you're going to have to sacrifice some money.
You know what this sounds like?
The players are going to jump on it.
This sounds like a classic case of someone found a loophole and then someone else going, you can't do that. And you go, nothing says I can't. And they go, we don't want you to do that. Sounds like that kind of deal.
Well, the thing is football, we all can agree, if you have half a brain and understand how it works, basically prints money. All right? And football contracts are unique in that they're not guaranteed unless it's actually stipulated to be guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even cases where you got to give back your fucking signing bonus. I mean, it's happened before. So what I don't understand is what in the fuck is going on in the NFL, almost said NHL, in the NFL with these owners to where they feel like they got to fucking hoard every penny and dime they can because, I mean, what are they? Are they waiting for the Great Depression Part 2 to happen? I mean, I don't get it. I understand you want to make money and you want more, but...
Is the league up in their take every year or something?
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to have a workforce that, one, okay, you want the best product on the field. If you're an owner, I'm assuming this is your thought process. One, I want to make a profit. Two, I want to make a profit by having the best product possible on the field and winning as much as possible.
Sure.
And
Ford.
And
William Clay Ford.
That's why I said I assume. And three, there's only 53 people per team in the entire fucking world. So you add up those 53 people per team. My math is horrible. I'm not even going to try to do it. But it's somewhere in, a couple thousand? So there's a couple thousand of people in the world who are good enough to fill this job. Shouldn't I keep my labor force somewhat happy?
1696. That's just players.
Yeah. That's not including practice squad and all that shit.
So, yeah, you're right. In your neighborhood, you're north of a couple thousand people with practice squad and coaches. Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to keep your labor force happy? If it's this specialized of a skill that they have? I mean, isn't that what we've been told all our lives? If you want to make more money and you want to go higher in your job, make yourself more desirable to your employer. What's more desirable than being like a 0.111111% of the entire population of the planet that can do your job? Anyway, yet we have an adversarial attitude between owners and the players and the NHL, once again, NHL on the brain, NFL, PA, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. And I understand we're going into the politics behind sports, but that's also part of sports these days. It's no longer the days of, owners getting together with no salary cap and they go, hey, this guy's a pain in my ass and he's wanting more money. And I've already told my players not to tell each other how much money they're making, yet he found out and he's running his mouth. How about if I trade him to your team and you trade this guy, and guys stay where they're fucking at until the owners are done with them?
Screw this darky. You want him?
But let's be honest, football is the most cutthroat of all the sports. All sports are cutthroat. Football is the most cutthroat.
It's got to be. You only got 16 games. You have the least amount of chances.
Exactly. And even if you build a team, arguably the quote-unquote right way, which a lot of people will say is through the draft, and you supplement a few holes or boost a few areas with free agency, even if you do that, your window to win for most teams, unless you're like New England, is fucking tiny. You get like a 2-3 year window. I mean, you have, and even now you have, coaches going, I don't want to disrespect the players that were here last season by calling this season a rebuild. We're going to call it a reboot. Okay, well, you can use all the fancy PC language you want. We all understand your window has closed. Now you have to build for the next one. And it just doesn't make sense to me why you have such animosity between billionaires and millionaires. And I understand a lot of people are going to go, well, I don't really care. A bunch of millionaires crying about their money. Let's be honest here. That money, you sign a $100 million contract, you don't get $100 million. You can chop half of that off right off the top for Uncle Sugar. He's going to get his cut. And then you got agents and publicists and managers.
Yeah, they're not missing any meals or mortgage payments, so.
I understand, but
they're making more than you and I put together. Times 10.
Once again, I get that. But then now you take half for taxes, all the hangers on get their fucking cut. And now you're left with what you have, which isn't even guaranteed most of the time. You're always one play away from not getting a paycheck. It's, to me, it's insanity. It's insanity for me to look at it and go, well, I got to side with the owners on this. Why? The owners, that team's going to be there no matter how many people's careers end this year. It's going to be there next.
It'll be there after you.
There after you. Yes, exactly. It's like I tell any woman I meet about my cat. She was here before you, she'll be here after you, sweetheart. This is the only thing that loves me unconditionally. As long as I don't let the bottom of her food bowl show for 1 second.
Yeah, I know, right?
Then she's starving, apparently. But yeah, I mean, and this whole thing, it's kind of been buried, and it was kind of a story more so last week with Joey Bosa. But to me, it speaks to the issue with the owners in the NFL, and it's like, okay, how much is too much? Like, I get it. We're all about, hey, we're all for making money, make as much as you can. But at a certain point, man, don't you have to go, gee, I wouldn't really be an owner of a football team if I want these players willing to put their fucking health on the line every fucking Sunday to go out here and do this. I mean, do you really want to see like Jerry Jones and whoever's running the Ford, well, what is it? William Clay Ford's wife now running the team?
Martha.
Actually, I might want to see those two play football against each other. That'd be amusing for at least a couple minutes.
Huh.
But no one wants to see the owners out there playing this shit.
Then it would get sad real quick.
Well, the Lions would still have the same record, so it wouldn't matter.
We'd be watching a murder live on Sunday afternoon.
I don't know. Maybe it's my more so of a pro-union stance coming out, but ultimately, I can't look at the owners and go, well, I understand why you guys are fucking penny pinching here. Makes total sense to me. No, I don't. I'm sorry. It's okay. You insist you need you need 4 preseason games. In fact, that's another thing that happened with the injury to Romo. with the injuries that happen every preseason, no matter what. We really need 4 preseason games? Owners bitch. Well, that's when we make, money, because obviously we don't have to pay the players for their preseason games. We play them for their actual fucking games that count. That's the only reason we don't have an 18-game season.
Fuck that. Give them 2 preseason games, give us an 18-game season, and throw in a second bye week. Done. Every fucking, what is it? Is it 6 weeks? You have a bye. There you go. Merry fucking Christmas.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Because here's the problem with preseason games, and I'm sure you've noticed this, because if you're even a casual fan, you know this. You got first stringers, superstars. They know their roster spot is fine. They're not going to go 110% in preseason.
Hell no.
But then you got the guy next to him who's getting his chance to play with the first squad. He's only going to get so many shots with it, so he's going 110%. But football isn't the type of game to where you go 110% and you only have to worry about you. You got to worry about the guy next to you. If you're an offensive lineman, you got to worry about the guy next to you. If he's taking plays off because he knows his position's locked up, you can get blindsided. You can get rolled up and your fucking knees bent the wrong way 90 degrees. And I mean, this is what the players go through in preseason. And preseason isn't. I mean, it's a fucking joke. And then you got, like I said, owners who want to now look for loopholes to not play the fucking payers or pay the players what they agreed to in a collective bargaining agreement. It's horseshit. Like you said, fuck it. You get 2 preseason games. Then you get 18 regular season games, give them 2 bye weeks. There you go. Everybody's fucking happy.
Oh, that would be glorious.
Well, I don't know. It might happen still, sooner or later. I don't know.
Then, with the scheduling, they can make the season go to almost fucking March. Yeah.
Spring football.
Fuck yeah.
Works
Because
so
that
well
football
for
is,
USFL.
bam, right into baseball. Oh, look, spring training has started. I mean, as of now, when we were little, the Super Bowl was damn near almost a week after New Year's. Now, it's the week before the Daytona 500.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think about it that way, but it really is. I remember watching many Super Bowls in January, and not the tail end either.
No, fuck no. It's right in the middle usually, And now, they've managed to add in some extra. They've managed to get in some extra padding weeks. Now there's this fucking the 4th preseason game was. Is it last week or this week?
It's this week.
It's this week.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say, there's a week between the season start, but no, there isn't. But they're starting it later because there used to be football on Labor Day. No, it's always post Labor Day. The fuck did that shit start? Now there's 2 weeks in between the Super Bowl. No, one of them's the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. That's the most useless game ever. Like
Yeah.
I thought the NHL All-Star game was useless. Pro Bowl. There's the perfect example of star players going at 50% speed. Like, seriously, who the fuck is going to, if you were on the Lions and you were someone like Megatron, all right, and you get selected to the Pro Bowl, your season was over by week 8, by the way, are you going to go 110% to Pro Bowl and risk getting injured?
Make it mean something.
Oh, yeah.
No
great.
more coin toss in the Super Bowl. Winning conference gets the ball first.
Dude, don't do that.
Ha!
Don't even put that into the ether because somewhere Roger Goodell's fucking nuts just tingled. He's like, some way to make something count.
What?
Wonderful. We can do that? Let me check with my owners. Hey, owners, is that okay? Oh, I don't know. We pay you $40 million a year. Figure it out. Okay, great.
And then there you go.
Do you remember what started that shit in baseball?
No.
The All-Star game went into extra innings, and they used every player on the bench and every pitcher in the bullpen. And they stopped the game. It was in Milwaukee, which at this point, Bud Selig was still commissioner of baseball. And he was owner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Mm-hmm. And they actually walked over to him in the stands and said, "What do we do?" And he said, "Call it a tie game." And right after, well, not immediately after that, but not long after that is when they announced whoever wins the All-Star game gets home field advantage in the World Series.
So, because America collectively went, "Oh, come on!"
I think because America collectively at that point was like, "Why the fuck are we watching the All-Star game?"
Yeah. Why is it in extra innings? Why have none of you taken a dive to go home?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What are you, bunch of Charlie Hustles out there? Come on. The days of fucking Pete Rose running over a catcher and ending his career in the All-Star game are long gone. Come
no
on,
one in the 11 and a half inning went, oh, it went through my legs. It's crazy.
I mean, but then again, if they played, obviously that was probably a bunch of fucking All-Stars playing at like 50, maybe 75% of their ability, and they ended up tied. But if they played 100% of their ability, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's an All-Star game.
How come no one stepped up? Let's put an end to this thing. Let's go home.
Yeah, come on. Just hit him with some extra fucking juice and just let him hit a home run. Come on, dude. Seriously, we need to get out of here.
Yeah, no pitcher threw him a meatball.
Look, we're already in the 15th inning. I've already lost my side chick blowjob before I got to go home to my wife. So come on, you know?
Yeah, at this point, I got to find a stranger at the airport. So hurry the fuck up.
I'm going to be hitting on the stewardess like, do you think we could fit two of us in one of these airplane bathrooms? Come on, let's do this.
Right. So, hey, man, I wanted to roll through the Lions' schedule since we'll start picks next week. Let's roll through the Lions' schedule and see what we both think here. Because I honestly haven't looked at this yet. Quite honestly.
I haven't either.
I just typed in Detroit Lions 2016 in Google, and it's just, boom, right first thing. Sunday, September 11th, it's an away game at the Indianapolis Colts.
We're not doing picks right now, right?
Well, I'm gonna call that an L. You gonna agree with me there? I'm gonna keep track of these, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the season here.
Well, I mean, if you want to do picks for the season now, yeah, I would definitely say that that's a loss. And yeah, probably a resounding loss.
Yeah, I figured we'll roll through the season now, since next week we're going to do we're going to start doing the weeks and rolling through all those. All right, week number deuce. It's a home game versus the Tennessee Titans.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, really? It sounds like that. Remember the South Park about what was it, the 2000 election, the shit sandwich or the giant douche?
Yeah, turd sandwich or giant douche. I'll be nice, and I'll say a W.
We're at home, but in these kind of matchups, I always default to signal caller versus signal caller. I think Marcus Mariota is a better quarterback than Matt Stafford.
Really?
He might be less inexperienced, but if you watch him play, I think he's played way better games professionally than Matt Stafford has ever played. So far, I'm going to call that an L. Okay. I'm going 0-2, week 3. Oh, well, at Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that's a loss.
That's a loss. Week 4. Oh, 2 division games in a row at the Chicago Bears.
Ooh. We'll go out on a limb and say that one's a win.
I'm going to.
If you're throwing Stafford up against Cutler, Cutler's team hates him. You can't say that about Stafford.
Yeah, we're gonna be simpatico on these two here. Can't beat Pack at home, even though we did last year. Correct? We crushed that jinx.
Yeah, first time since what, 91?
Yeah, but we're not getting, and that was right at the end of the season. We're not getting 2 in a row at Lambeau from those guys. And then Chicago, they're in rebuilding mode right now. Matt Forte's gone. Martellus Bennett is gone.
That was the team. That was the team. Their coach said, "I'm not going to call it rebuilding. I'm going to call it a reboot."
Yeah.
So
yeah. And by the way, I pose this question right now. Didn't it used to be every other week was conference, and then every other it was non-conference, conference, non-conference, conference?
I thought so.
Not anymore. We got, like I said, it's 2 games in a row in the division.
Yeah.
After starting 2 games in a row, not in the division. And then it's like 3 more. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row not in a division. Then a division, non-division, division, non-division. And for some reason, the schedule doesn't have the last 4 weeks. So we'll go to the Lions homepage here. And then division, non-division, non-division, division. All right. Anyway, week 5. Eagles coming to Ford Field.
I'll give them a win on that.
Yeah, that's another team right now that's they're on their draft pick is already injured. Is he going to make it? What did he injure?
Wentz. Oh shit! Hold on a second.
Is it anything that ends in CL?
Carson Wentz. Well, he's practicing as of today.
Okay.
2 fractured ribs. Week 1 preseason. That's the game I watched. Yeah, that was the one where once he was injured, the Eagles announcers were like, "There goes the season," and I'm like, "Damn, that's horrible."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was his second day of practice in a row. They're calling it a positive sign.
I mean, that one I'm deferring to signal callers. Stafford's more experienced than their guy. That's a W for us.
Yeah.
Next, 2 home games in a row. The subject of Hard Knocks. Something of Hard Knocks, ladies and gentlemen. Los Angeles Rams. Who's there? Bradford still? No. Yes?
No, I can't. And I'm watching Hard Knocks, and I'm drawing a blank here. I'm just going to call it a win.
If we can't figure out who their quarterback is, let's call it yeah.
It's not even that. It's just I don't think that team. And this is just a gut feeling. I have no facts to back this up. As longtime radio show here would say, this is reckless, irresponsible speculation on my part.
Wild and reckless speculation.
Yes, I don't think that team is as focused as they should be. Watching Hard Knocks, you have individual players who obviously are, but with the move to LA, Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, there's a lot of chance for distraction, especially to where they're moving too, and they're on a TV show.
Yeah, and Jeff Fisher, has he ever really been the guy to bring home the bacon, or is he always kind of one of the also-ran coaches that's just good enough to keep a job?
He's always the guy that, will take your shit pile and give you the foundation for not a shit pile, and then they'll bring in somebody who will take what he just put together to the next level.
Yeah, so I just don't have much faith in the Rams this season. That's just me. That's just a gut feeling. Wild and reckless speculation on my part. So, yeah, I'll give the Lions a win on that one.
Week 7, a homecoming of sorts for Kirk Cousins, the Redskins. 3 home games in a row.
Redskins.
Their backfield is relying on some either a rookie or a guy with 1 year of experience, because Alfred Morris is now in Dallas. Who's there to catch the ball? Anybody of note?
Not off the top of my head.
So, I'm going to give this one to the Lions.
I'm feeling the opposite. For some reason, I'm just feeling the loss on that one.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I think Cousins, this is his season to really step up and be you made the right decision. It's easy to say this. He's going to sink. He's going to have to prove his worth. He's going to have to sink or swim.
Well, they pointed out he got his record against all losing teams. To me, that makes me go, let's see you play a real team.
Are you ready to call the Lions a real team this season?
No, that's not my point. That's just my thing with Cousins.
Okay. Fair enough.
Is let's see him play New England, or
how about let's see him. New England's kind of
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I was going to say more Pittsburgh. Yeah, the Cardinals.
See him play your Carolina Panthers, your Seattle Seahawks. Okay, week 8. is the Houston Texans. They are at the Texans. They're in Houston.
I'm going to give that one as a loss.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the shit show that their offense has been the last couple seasons, their defense is not. I mean, J.J. Watt is... That guy's a Hall of Fame player, right? Like, we already know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, he'll get a ring somewhere before he retires. I have a feeling it'll be in New England. That's just me. Like, let's stamp that, on this episode of Sporgy that is going to come out, in, in the final week of August, or on September 1st, 2016. I say J.J. Watt ends up in a Patriots uniform before the end of his career, and that's how he gets a ring. But, said all that to say, playing that defense, loss.
And this is how until the Lions prove they can win on the road consistently, and I'm not talking about beating sub-500 teams, until they can prove they can win on the road consistently, I'm going to always pick against them if I have any doubt about the team they're playing at home. You have to prove it to me. Just say I'm from Missouri. Show me. There's no reason for me to have any faith in the Lions whatsoever. They've not given anyone a reason to have faith in them. So
Week 9 division opponent, Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota.
Well, see, now this one is interesting because an hour ago, the Vikings just announced Bridgewater suffered a dislocated knee and a completely torn ACL. And they say he has no nerve damage and he's fully expected to fully recover. But torn ACL, unless I'm wrong, that's out for the season.
I'm going with they have Adrian Peterson, and that just ensured he will get the ball all season.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's going to be.
And Minnesota's at home.
Yeah, that Lions defense is going to have to prove it can stop the run. And once again, I have no faith they can. So that's a loss in my book.
And didn't Bridgewater go out for a period of time last year and his backup was getting the job done?
Well, yeah, and if your scheme is you're based around a running back, you can have a game manager back there as long as he doesn't turn over the ball constantly. You'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, week 10, win the bye.
Well, they can't lose that.
Yeah, that's always the joke in Detroit. Well, we're not going to lose this week.
It's bye week.
Yeah. Week 11, we got another home game, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Automatically, first thing popped in my head is win, but this is the game that will embarrass me for picking that because the Lions will somehow find a way to lose it, but I'm still going to say win.
It's the trap game?
Every game's a trap game if you're the Lions, but yeah, they'll find it. If they find a way to lose this game, I just want it on record somewhere that I said I'm against my better judgment. I'm picking them to win it, but SOL in the end. I wouldn't be shocked.
You got Blaine Gabbert thrown to Alan Hearns. I'm going with a loss for us. Just a
flat out loss.
Not Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles. Blaine Gabbert is in San Francisco. So, but no, I'm not relying on our defense on that one. Just as I had Blake Bortles last year, like he's actually he's not doing it flashily. He's doing it just with numbers.
Flashily? Is that referring to Jeff Flashel?
No, it's referring to a word I made up just now. But he's not. He's just putting up the numbers, man. He's winning games, man. He's part of. If he's not winning games, he's at least getting production out of his offense. He likes to throw. Who's your running back there? You got Shoelace, and and you got T.J. Yeldon, and I don't know. They're a young team. They're on the come up. I'm going with the loss. You're calling the win. Right now, I'm giving us 4 wins. Rich, you got us at 6. No, you got us at 5 right now. It's optimistic season for you so far. The Thanksgiving game, home game against the Vikings. Like the Vikings, we just played them 2 weeks ago. I don't know how the fuck they make these schedules. I hate when you see a team like, hey, we just played you 2 weeks ago. How's it going? But Vikings at home. I mean,
there you go, dude. That's what I'm saying.
They have Adrian Peterson. I'm going with a loss.
Same here. And just
every year, I mean, we've seen this movie before, right? We're always hoping for the Thanksgiving week miracle, the Thanksgiving Day miracle, and then by halfway through the first quarter, you're always like, all right, what the fuck else is on?
I never pass up a chance for the Lions to embarrass themselves on the national stage. So, I'm calling that a loss.
December 4th, week 13 at the Saints, I'm going with the loss, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's at the Saints. Drew Brees is way better than Matt Stafford, and the Saints owe us one because the last time we played them, they lost on a chintzy last-second field goal.
You think it's going to be a repeat of the 2011 playoffs there, where the Saints never punted?
I mean, it's going to depend on New Orleans' defense this year, because the last time we played them, their defense wasn't so great, and then their defense has kind of been going, to quote Master P, been going through some things the last couple years. But they owe us one. They're at home. Drew Brees is just going to fucking
be Drew Brees.
Yeah, and put another L in the column here for the Lions.
Same here.
All right, week 14, Chicago coming to Ford Field.
Oh, see, at this point, I want to say win, but you got to think the Lions are going to most likely be out of it at this point. So once again, they're playing for quote unquote pride, and I don't know, dude. Chicago could be pretty pissed off at this point because they're not rebuilding; they're rebooting, and probably Chicago is going to play the disrespect card and come in, and I could see them catching the Lions off guard, especially if they lost to them at home earlier in the season, like I predicted. So I know that's a long thought out or drawn out thought process about it, but that's just how I look at it. So that one, I would say, gun to my head, loss.
See, I'm going with a win because Chicago blows. Yeah, I'm going on record. Yeah, at SportG Podcast on Twitter, Chicagoans. Your team sucks this year.
Dick ain't walking through that door.
The best part of your team is now wearing a fucking, was it New York Jets uniform? Now where Forte landed?
Yeah.
All right.
And your quarterback's balls are in the purse of some bitch that was on the hills.
Ha!
So.
Solely because they have kids.
Oh, yeah.
She's hot, though. I'd still fuck the shit out of her. All right. Week 15. Going to Jersey to see Mr. Waterhead himself, Eli Manning, and it's 2 Super Bowl rings.
I'm going to call that one a loss.
Me too, because they're playing a Manning. Bottom line.
Also, it's Jersey. Well, whatever. It's an outdoor game late in the season for a, am I going to use the S word? Yup. Soft indoor Lions team. So, yeah.
It's also late in the season. They're in the Giants are in a third division. They could have something to play for at this point. Also calling it a loss. I read an article the other day talking about how the NFC East is the new, NFC or AFC South?
Well, NFC South has had, pretty much, yeah. Now, until last season, it's been fairly dominated for a couple of years stretch by Saints. Tampa hasn't done shit. Carolina was not shit till last season. And, I mean, Matty Ice ain't exactly... He's having a very Romo-esque career down there in Atlanta.
I drafted him last year. He was some bullshit. And speaking of Romo, December 26th, the day after Christmas, Boxing Day for our Canadian friends, going to the house that Jerry built, the Jerry Dome in Dallas at the Cowboys.
All right. Well, this is all depends on who we think is going to be under center for the Cowboys at this point. Okay, because and I have to ask this question: Do you put it past the Cowboys if Romo comes back
It's
And
this
Dax,
game.
And Dax has been playing, and he's been playing well. And let's say he's one game over 500 as a starter. Because I think they said they're looking at like 5 weeks into the season before Romo come back, maybe 6.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's 5. So let's say he's 3-2 as a starter. Romo comes back, plays typical Romo 500 football. Do you think Jerry would pull would because we all know he runs that team. You think he'd tell him, hey, pull Romo and put fucking Dax in?
Depends if they got something to play for or not. I think if the young kid's winning, Jerry's going to be like, let's keep winning. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what Jerry likes to do. The young kid's got him at like fucking, at this point, week 16. If he's got him at like, 11-4. Have a seat, glass man. Let the young buck here take us into the playoffs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go to week 5 and the rookie's got him at 3-2, Romo comes in. This is what, week 14 they play the Lions, you said, or week 15?
Week 16.
Oh, week 16. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. If I don't see the Lions having anything to play for. 2, that's 1. 2, it's on the road, and 3, it's the fucking Cowboys, man. I mean, it's as much as the Cowboys have been a 500 team since they last won a Super Bowl, they still fucking spanked the goddamn Lions. So that one's a loss in my book.
Yeah, I'm going to make this simple for you, Rich. They have Ezekiel Elliott, and we have our defense. Loss.
Yeah.
Think what you want about the man, but we're missing Mr. Ndamukong and Nick Fairley. I mean, that was a badass couple guys up front there.
Yeah, but Ziggy Ansah isn't nothing to be.
Ansah.
He's not. Don't write him off.
I'm writing him off.
He's a fucking beast, but he can't do it by himself.
I'm saying when we had Sue and Fairley, we were considered the dominant defense in the league. That was nice for a season to be able to say that.
Yeah, one season. Meanwhile, my Tampa Bay fan self was like, "Yeah, enjoy your one season because that's all you're going to get."
Yeah,
but no, so you're saying that Nada's not going to have a comeback year? He's not going to be NFL comeback player of the year here?
How many guys have we had that story with, Rich? Let's be honest. How many guys have we're going to get him on the comeback? We're going to get, and no, we got somebody else's fucking garbage, and they're just sitting there holding on to their contract until they go, well, I'm just going to retire. How many? Come on, man. We're almost 40. How many times have we seen this?
39 times. 39 times. That's how many times I've seen this shit. And each time it works out just as well as I thought it would.
Yeah. And then, all right, last game of the year. At home. Aaron Rodgers. Discount double dick.
All right, this all depends on has Green Bay wrapped up the division and are they resting their players?
Yeah, it's Green Bay 8-8 or fucking 12-4 at this point.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, 8-7 and 12-3. Pardon me.
Yeah. But just off the top of my head, I'd say a loss.
I mean, as a Lions fan, you're just used to when you see that fucking green and white G on the schedule. That might as well be a green and white L. Because, I mean, they're the fucking Green Bay Packers. They are who they thought, or who we thought they were.
Now, if you want to crown their ass, crown them.
Yeah. Well, both of us have picked the Lions to go 5-11.
You know, I really want to look up local sports people and see what they pick the Lions to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've actually heard...
We got a Venn diagram on 3 of our W's.
I've actually heard 9-7 and 10-6. I've heard those numbers thrown around on local sports talk, and I'm just like, what fucking team? What? That's what I'm saying. What fucking team?
The Detroit Lions?
Are you watching?
Not the Penn State Nittany Lions?
Exactly. Not Not the Happy Valley Child Touchers?
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, dude.
It looks like we are both predicting it's going to be a rough week 4, 5, and 6. Or no, correction. Those are our wins. My bad. It's going to be a good week 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, our L's Venn diagram on the last 3 weeks of the season.
Well, I mean, also, once again, yeah, there's a few games you picked from to win or lose, and I picked the opposite. But I think it speaks to anyone listening outside of Detroit. This is how beat down two not even Lions fans are about the local team. We're not in lockstep on what games they're going to win and lose, but we come to the exact same record.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a fucking joke, dude. It's embarrassing. It really is. Because this is not a team with no history. This is a team that's been around for a long time. And to never even sniff a Super Bowl? Really? The one NFC championship game they went to wasn't even close?
Oh, it was a sexual assault on national television.
I mean, it's bad. Yeah.
The glory days of Wayne. I never, ever thought that phrase would ever be uttered. He was so hated when he was here. He's the best coach of our lifetime. Best coach of the last 30 years.
Definitely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And
Wayno.
the second best coach is a distant second. And it's arguable who that is. So, I mean...
We got another half hour on that.
And what? The Schwartz?
That's
who he got you to the playoffs, but didn't Bobby Ross?
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the only two if you're going just by wins, those are the runner-ups. Those are distant seconds to Wayne Fonz.
Well, I mean, didn't the Schwartz get you there twice?
I mean, would you call that did they show up in 2011? I'm just wondering, because
it was the Saints and it was who else?
No, wait a minute. Was it Schwartz that got him in there? No. That was the year. That was the year they had the bomb-ass fucking defense. That was under, was that Schwartz? The last year they had Sue? Or was that Mr. I've been lionized?
No, that was Schwartz. Because Caldwell, this is only season 3? Season 2?
No, it's got to be season 3. Feels like it. I don't even know.
I know, right?
It feels like this is the year he gets fired. So that's the third season for most of the Lions coaches. Well, I mean, there we go. What we really need to do is look up the odds on how long he'll last as Lions coach this season. Because you know somewhere in Vegas there's a sports book that has that. I mean, do you think he'll make it to the end of the season?
Just like anything else, depends on his record. I mean, first of all, let's figure out. 2014. So yeah, this is season 3.
Yeah, this is the season where he better start checking for plastic.
No, Schwartz got you there once because Caldwell's first season he got you to the playoffs.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Because everyone was able to go, well, this first season he got you to the playoffs, so he's keeping his job.
Yeah, that bought him a bye for the second season.
Yeah.
But this is the third season, traditionally the season where every Lions coach, when he's called into the fucking GM or owner's office, better start looking for plastic on the ground.
Yeah, well, I have them, I have them, we both have them 4-4 halfway through the season, so he'll keep his job, but...
might not keep it after the season.
Yeah,
what was the 5-9 record we come up with?
Yeah, the second half of the season, I have him going 1-7, as do you. So, yeah, he'll get fired at the end of the season if things play out how we predicted.
Or hey, they might pull a shocking one like Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay brought in Lovie Smith, gave him one season, and then fired his ass for a coach. And I'm like, how the fuck is he a head coach, let alone replacing Lovie Smith?
I just don't know if there is anything to this thinking of, defenses aren't going to know how to cover the Lions without Calvin Johnson being there. Like, no, he cover Golden Tate now. Like,
Yeah, wait a minute. Okay, that's fun. That's a funny thing to me when I hear people say defenses won't know how to cover the Lions And I'm like, wait a minute. So they knew how to cover him when Megatron was there. He's not there. The defense or the offense isn't as good, and they're going to have more problems than they did when Megatron was on the field. That's some homer thinking when people say that shit. That's just all there is to that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the homer media trying to polish a turd because it could. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people like me and you thinking like, oh, Jesus, this is going to be a rough fucking... I mean, I've been calling it since... as soon as Megatron retired, I'm like, rebuilding 2016. This is going to be a rough year.
Dude, but saying that defenses won't know how to cover the Lions without Megatron is like saying, oh, I got cheated on, but at least his dick's bigger than mine.
That's like sticking your fingers in your leg.
It
I
doesn't
can't
make
hear
any
you.
sense. Yeah, it's going to be real simple. Okay, so cover the deep threat. The running game from the Lions post Barry? Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, no one's worried about that. Come on now.
Yeah, and it's going to be... I don't buy into... Everyone's like... There's this Marvin Jones love fest that's starting to coalesce, and I'm not buying it. Just because the one byproduct of doing fantasy football is you keep up with all the players on all the other teams. And he's always been like... he's someone I can find on the waiver wire in week 13. Like, he's that caliber of player. Like, he ain't setting the world on fire. He's just putting up average numbers, man. He ain't nothing fucking special. And that's just like, that's who your alternative to Golden Tate is. It's like a good fucking luck. You needed to draft. I mean, no one is going to fill the Calvin Johnson-sized hole, but you could have had two guys that could have tried to fill it together. And to me, Marvin Jones is not that guy.
No.
They could have signed a way bigger name. And I'm not even just about name, just a guy just with better production than that, whose production evokes more of a response than meh.
Well, and on top of it, you have, okay, so you don't have your number one threat at wide receiver, but it's not like you have a game-breaking tight end either. You have fucking Eric Ebron, who can't hold on to a fucking ball.
And let's be honest, too, Golden Tate was an also-ran in Seattle who had a good season and capitalized on it.
Exactly, cashed in on it.
Because that is another dude who, it's another guy who was always going to be available to you on the waiver wire in week 14 or 15 who's just putting up average numbers.
You know what I say? Okay, they got Anquan Bolden, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate. They got an excellent receiving core if it was 5 to 6 years ago.
Like, didn't Golden Tate end up having that season because Percy, they traded for Percy Harvin and he sat injured all year? Like he did most of his career? But he was supposed to be the number one guy, and he couldn't go. So Golden Tate was the next on the depth chart. I mean, that's why I had that season. I believe that's what I remember. And he capitalized on it.
Well,
now he's here. Time to earn that money, buddy. You got 1 week.
Either way, any way you slice it, I'm just not seeing.
I better hear Stafford to Tate all motherfucking season. Better be in every highlight reel.
Any way you slice it, I'm just not buying the whole Lions offense. Stafford is to me, middle to low end of the middle quarterback. You could pull a Trent Dilfer with him. If you put him on a team and said manage the game and let the defense fucking hold the other team to barely anything, he might flourish.
Yeah, I think even with the same team. I think if you put Stafford on the Ravens, he goes to the Super Bowl.
Exactly, but he's not carrying the team on the Super Bowl. He's doing it the last year, like how Manning won the Super Bowl the last year. He's not Tom Brady in the team to the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I don't see any really standouts on this Lions offense. And once again, what are you gonna do? Put your hope in the defense? Okay, you got Ezekiel Elliott, and I'll wait. Who else? I mean,
what, our defense?
Yeah,
we have Dallas's running back.
Well, I'm just saying, where's the where's the standout? Where's the lockdown cornerback? Where's the hard hitting safety?
Isn't it Levy who was always injured?
Where's your linebacker? You gonna pin all your hopes on Van Noy?
You know what the Lions love to do? They love to hold on guys who stay injured. They love to hold on to those guys. There's some crazy, fucked up loyalty mentality about Detroit, or for some reason, with all of our sport teams. We tend to do that with a lot of guys. Brandon Inch. But it's as cutthroat as it is, man, it should just be like, hey, man, like, you're keeping this spot on our roster for someone who'd be doing something for us. Have a good one. Maybe a division opponent will, maybe the Buffalo Bills will feel fucking sorry for you. You'll end up in fucking Jacksonville.
I think the only local team that got away with it, and they got away with it because they were loyal to guys, no matter how injury prone, but they did it in a unique way, was the Red Wings. And the way they could do it in a unique way was because they made the playoffs every year. So they went, okay, look, yes, it's good. It's important to have a good regular season, but how you perform in the playoffs is going to be the deciding factor on whether we bring you back or not. If you're injured or you play like shit during the playoffs, you got to go.
Yeah,
and that's how we ended up with Johan Franzen instead of Martin Hossa or Marian Hossa.
Mm-hmm.
And Hossa's now went on to win 2 cups in Chicago.
Whoops.
Yeah, because Hossa didn't perform as well as Mule did in the playoffs.
That's true.
But that's really the first time that came to bite us back in the ass. I mean, hey, I remember 96 playoffs. Coffee scored on fucking Vernon. Coffee was fucking gone. Later, then he traded his ass with Primo for Shanahan next season.
Yep.
Shanahan come in and was a mainstay here for a decade. Well, almost a decade. And in football, you have, the Lions, you can't be loyal like that because, one, you ain't making the playoffs. You can't base whether you're going to bring them back on how they perform in the playoffs because you're never fucking there. And then the Tigers, that's just a whole different story. Tigers went the route of Boston and New York and signed players to huge long-term contracts that they can't fucking move. So that's their problem. I mean, people are saying Miggy's having a shit year. I just saw his stats. That's a shit year most players would cut off a fucking finger for. Same with like a guy like J.D. Martinez or V-Mart.
It's a shitty year for him. I think that's what most people are.
Well, yeah. But I mean, he's also 32. He's not 22 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait till Mike Trout's 32 and let's see if he's still fucking as if his WAR is as high as it is now. Worth over replacement or whatever value or whatever the fuck. I don't know all that sabermetric shit. But yeah, the Lions can't do that. And yeah, you're right. They hold on to people. I mean, I'm really drawing a blank. Who's the fucking running back they held on to until they finally just were like, okay, it's done. Your career is done.
What the fuck was his name?
Was it Bell? Joik Bell?
No. It was the guy he was backing up. What the fuck was his name? Jesus Christ. Got concussions every other week.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I can't remember his name right now. That's how little he played.
Exactly, yeah. But if you were anywhere around a radio listening to sports talk radio, it was just people pumping him up. Like fans pumping him up. And it's like, for what? I mean, I understand he's not an asshole. It's not like he's out there shooting himself in the leg at a club, but he's injured all the time. He can be the best guy in the world. That doesn't help your team win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Anyways, I got one final question for you as far as we're talking about the most depressing team in fucking Detroit history. Who do you think that is no longer a Lion this year that was last year that's going to come back to bite him in the ass? Because that's another proud tradition here in Detroit.
Who'd we get rid of? I mean, the obvious answer is Calvin Johnson, but...
Oh, shit. What was that linebacker's name? I think he signed with... Who did he sign? Oh, fuck. I'm trying to remember his name. Not DeAndre Levy. Shit. Who was the linebacker they let go? Hold on.
By the way, the name of that running back, Javid Best.
Thank you.
Dude, it's going to drive me insane. Oh my God. They're talking about the 25 biggest, or 20 biggest draft busts of the last, I think it's 10 years. Dude. Or of all time, I think. What is the name of this article?
Well, if it's all time, when we know who's near the top because he's at the top of almost every list for this. That's Mr. Ryan Leaf. That poor bastard.
No, this is Lions.
Oh, just
draft
Lions.
Busts.
Anyways, the linebacker I was thinking of was Stephen Tulloch, and he plays for the Eagles, and the Lions do play the Eagles this year.
Because he's old and busted. Like, that was his problem with us the last couple seasons.
Who would have thought Harrington would come back and win against the Lions when he played for Atlanta? I mean, did you think that was in Harrington to do that? I mean, Schwartz...
It's just Lion-esque. It just seems like that's what happens.
I'm just saying. It happens, it seems like every year.
You see Tulloch injuring Stafford.
Just something stupid. It has to, because it has to be the Lions. Wow. If you are not in the Detroit market and you listen to us talk, you should feel happy for your football team.
Yeah.
This is just...
Dude, listen to this list. Andre Ware, he played 6 games.
Yeah.
He started just 6 of the 14 games he played. Juan Roque, I don't even know who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Kevin Abrams. Here we go. Joey Harrington. Charles Rogers. Mr. I fall asleep order Mexican food. Teddy Lehman. Mike Williams. Yeah, that guy was a huge fucking bust.
Yes, he was.
And he down in, no, he's not in Tampa now, is he?
No, I think he's retired, dude.
Not that Mike Williams. It's different Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Daniel Bullocks. Drew Stanton. Ike Alama Francis. Akika. Not gonna work here anymore. Gerald Alexander. Jordan Dyson. Javid Best. Titus Young. Ryan Boyles.
If I don't hear Ebron...
Turd Ferguson. No.
If I don't hear Ebron and I don't hear Pettigrew, this list is bullshit.
Yeah, Pettigrew, man. That guy. Oh, my God. It's another guy just by fantasy football. Like, been tracking his career, and it's...
But if you listen to these guys talk...
He's another guy who can't stay healthy.
If you listen to these guys talk, they've never dropped a pass. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And people are like, well, you got to respect the positivity. No, that's delusion. Seriously, win a fucking playoff game first. How about
they
that?
don't finish that sentence. Never dropped a pass when he plays. That's the problem. If you're starting 2 games of 16, that is an issue.
All I'm saying is that none of these tight ends on the Lions roster are Kellen Winslow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fuck no. And he ain't Kellen Winslow anymore either.
I'm talking about his daddy, not the second.
Gotcha.
Not I'm a warrior. No, not him.
Oh, well, thanks for listening to the Chris and Rich football show. But,
well, I mean, hey.
Dude, it's that time of year.
Basketball will be starting up, NHL will be starting up, and playoffs will be starting for baseball. So, and let's be honest, football's king in this country.
Oh, but I'm all leathered up for football, man. It's fucking...
Oh, I hear you. College football's already started. I mean, it's a bunch of bullshit games because that's...
Are there any games this weekend on the local side of things?
Yeah, I believe...
do we got to start our predictions? We got to throw those in the mix one more time before we go?
Well, I was thinking, it's Hawaii at Michigan. Hawaii's Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah.
Who've already lost a game at number 7 ranked Michigan. So I'm just going to say, not a trap game. Jesus and khakis will guarantee a win on this one. I mean, he won't do it to us, to the media, but yeah. And then let's see, who's State playing? Oh, you ready for this? 12th ranked Michigan State playing the Furman Paladins.
Who?
The Furman Paladins.
Charles, what now?
Furman.
From where?
I'm going to have to actually do a search on these guys because I don't know who the fuck the Furman Paladins are. Let's see. Our varsity athletic teams representing Furman University in Greensville, South Carolina.
Furman, like Mark Furman? Fermin?
Furman, but yeah.
The college or Mark? Both?
I think Mark Furman would probably have a better chance at winning because he could just hurl racial slurs and maybe get a few guys off their game. Yeah, looking at the acceptance rate is 69%.
At Furman?
Yeah.
They all white?
That's what I'm wondering, if there's going to be a lot of John Smiths and shit like that on the team. Damn, dude. Okay, when you look them up online, the two things that stick out about their sports that they talk about first, and remember, this is college sports, is soccer and baseball.
Jesus.
So
this is basically getting, you can, we'll let you play us for the publicity, for the ticket sales you'll get from this one game. But that Furman, that's at home for MSU, and Hawaii's at the big house. So,
and it's also a Friday night game for the Spartans. Yeah, it's Friday at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, these smaller schools, they get paid well to come in and basically be a preseason game for the bigger schools. I mean, college football, that's how it goes. That's nothing new. So, I mean, what's new is when you get someone like Appalachian State taking a massive runny shit down the throat of U of M.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, that was a fun fucking season, man. That was with the ex-wife whose whole family's State fans. You don't think I never heard the end of that shit?
So, I'm guessing we're both calling both of these W's for the home teams.
Oh, yeah. I imagine by the second quarter, one if not both home teams will be sitting all their starters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's college football. Now, hey, if the Furman Paladins come out and shit all over the Spartans, as a U of M fan, I would be perfectly fine with that because it'd give me something to talk shit about. Because I know right now they're sitting up in East Lansing playing the disrespect card because their preseason rank is at 12 and Michigan's at 7. And State's
I
going.
hate that.
And State's going, the fuck did Michigan? I'm sorry, did Michigan win the Big Ten last year?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who won the game between us and Michigan last year? What, Michigan? Even though that was pure fucking luck on State's part.
But I hate, though, how a lot of generally, think what you will of this, but I think most of the time, Michigan's preseason rankings are just based on the fact that they were Michigan alone. The name, a lot of times. Like, there's been years, they had no reason being ranked anywhere they were ranked in the preseason during the Rich Rod years. I think it was purely because of that Block M. They get ranked where they're ranked before any down of football is played.
Lloyd Carr retired, and they announced Rich Rod as the new head coach. And I was living in Wixom, and I went to the local party store. I walked in, and I'm like, put my drink, what I was drinking that night up on the counter, and hey, I need a pack of cigarettes. And the guy's like, saw my Michigan shirt, and he's like, oh, what do you think about Rich Rod? And I said, I think State's going to have real fun next 3 years. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't even think Michigan's going to be 500 this year. Under Rich Rod? He's going to bring that option offense. It's going to be wide open, and it's going to be a complete. And I'm like, it's not. I don't see it, dude. I don't see it. I never bought into the Rich Rod hype. I don't think he should have been brought here. I mean, it's just he's not. Granted, Brady Hoke wasn't much better, but that was a big misstep. And so, if they were ever ranked in the preseason, which I can't remember off the top of my head, under Rich Rod, yes, that was purely on name recognition alone, because they did not deserve that whatsoever. And I'm going to even say, hey, I love Michigan football. They don't deserve to be in the top 10. They damn sure don't deserve to be ranked ahead of Michigan State. It's all because of Harbaugh. It's Harbaugh hype. And, hey, it's his second season. He better fucking win against State or he better win against Ohio State. If he drops both those games again, you're going to see a lot of people sour on him real quick. Because you can't lose those 2 games, man. You just cannot do it. It's like the Hurricanes losing against FSU. It does not, you just can't do it consistently and keep your job as the coach. So, totally with you on this one. Completely with you. So,
that being said, if you don't like Michigan sports, sorry.
We'll get back more to the national shit next week because then we have to pick every fucking game that week.
Oh, it's gonna
every team will be playing.
Dude, it's gonna be week 1 though. Like this is the week we think about every man has that feeling that minute that last second clicks off at the Super Bowl. Like, we don't deny it. We all know we've had that feeling. Like, that's it. It's over. Like, and then you literally, I know I've sat there on the couch while the credits to the, while their confetti's coming down, sitting there figuring out, all right, now how many days until football season starts? We've all done the math. This is the week we've all waiting for. When we're sitting on the couch, watching confetti drop, watching someone get a Corvette, going to Disney World, going, it's over, counting down. This is what we're waiting for. It's next week. Can't wait.
Yes, buddy.
Yeah, draft me a couple more fantasy teams, win some money off some strangers. It's going to be glorious. But on that note, we would like to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for downloading it on iTunes at ChristopherMedia.net. We're on Stitcher. I think we're on Google Play. If not, I'll work on that. But anywhere you can get podcasts. We prefer from the website or from iTunes. But thank you for listening. If you like it, share it. Tell all your friends. Listen to all the other podcasts Rich and I also do Unregimented. That comes out on Saturdays. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you on Thursdays now. Like we said, we want to get Monday Night Football in there, right?
Football.
Yeah. So we'll just shift it to Thursday. And if shit goes down, well, you better be ready. That's what Cypress Hill says, right?
All right, guys.
We'll see you next week.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name your price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The name your price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.